How's it going, man? How's it going?
I'm good.
Yeah, not much, man. Just going into a week, blessed as always. How about you, man?
Oh, great. I don't know if I'm as good as you with those guns out, man.
Oh, wait,
you working it with these guns?
Those guns?
Where's your restroom? What? Should be illegal hauling those things around, man. Jeez.
I thought you were gonna at least plug the Dragon Ball Z shirt, man.
I mean that is dope. I mean, I'm just kind of jealous because normally I'm trying to like hide up a little bit more. I'm trying to put longer sleeves on because I haven't been working out as much.
You don't want people to see how good it really looks under there, right?
Right.
You're just trying to hide it for the wifey.
That's exactly it.
I feel you. That's the way it should be.
Secret weapon. You know
Save
what I'm
it
saying?
for her.
Weapon side.
Save it for her. It's got to be interesting, you know? Got to keep things spicy.
You try to. Most of the time it's because I missed a workout. I'm like, I'm ashamed of myself. But
sometimes those missing workouts, they actually get you the most fit.
I say, remember you talking about that, kind of like restoration, get your body healed up.
I was lying. That's not true. You got to break your body first to build it back up. Recovery only comes out.
Yeah. We're talking about secrets. So this right here, this drink is actually started off from a secret menu item that has been developed. And this guy is awesome. We call this the Coach Q.
Okay.
Seltzer topped off with the slush. Man.
Ooh.
I know you love them slushes.
I love the slush. I love the seltzer too. Which flavor is the seltzer?
So this one's going to be the mixed berry.
Okay.
And then we have a spring break line going on right now. So we got the liquid IV, we got the wet tea, and then the day drunk. So this is mixed berry with the day drunk. This is a 7.5 topped off with more.
Oh man,
I know.
Oh man, I'm in trouble.
I know.
That sounds delicious, though.
Man.
Honestly, that color is like perfect for spring too. It's like very Eastery.
Yeah.
This is a plug right here, man.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, Q hooked it up.
So we're actually
here.
putting it out there for the public to see for the first time. So anyone who's curious, I mean, we got it exclusively to hear.
Yeah, we might have a bunny rabbit around too somewhere.
Yeah. So the man, his name's Freddie. Love the guy.
Okay.
I'll bring him in here.
All right. Awesome.
All right.
Great to meet him.
Good, man. You?
Good.
Good to see you.
Freddie. What's up?
All right, man. Get that wheel in.
Oh, man. Here
Break
we go.
it in. Please be a shot.
A water
Please be a shot.
A water shot.
He wanted the last one to be the backhand.
Yeah. Oh, he's gonna get a backhand.
Oh, it looks like it. It looks like it. No, backhand from guests. So we get backhanded. Yeah. So which one of us is taking the backhand?
Oh, man.
Hey, maybe it will get more views if it's me. I'll take it for the team.
We're going to practice right now.
I was going to say, those shoulders look pretty thick, though.
Think about it. We'll do it after the show.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really digging this color on this stuff, man. It's so crazy. We got these up here. We haven't sipped yet. We got to let the viewers at least know.
Yeah, cheers.
Right? Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Salud. Salud.
Cheers, my brother.
Oh. That's pretty nice.
Wow,
right
this is my first time having one.
Pretty subtle.
And he orders it every time he comes in.
You have to, man.
It's subtle, not overly sweet, but still has that good tartness behind it too.
Okay. All right.
Very berry.
All right.
Very good. No,
very good. Very good.
You like how I put that there?
I did, yeah.
That dad joke. We have to throw
slogan.
that
I like that.
Some dad culture. They don't respect it, but we're gonna get it.
I know, right? Yeah, dad strength. I mean, I feel you, especially for my sisters. Oh man.
You said strength.
All show, huh? All show. Yeah, I know.
My bad.
I apologize to you people. It's gonna happen all show.
Try to get some more clickbait in it.
There you go.
I need to get some more confidence in myself.
Should I move the can out?
It's all behind the can. You can't see any of it anyways.
We go back to see the film and it's like just eat right there. You just see your knuckles forming up. I like it. This is delicious, by the way.
100%. What made you come up with this one, anyways?
Just one day we came in and, I was like, hey, man, let's try some new things. So it was a cousin and I. The cousin and I came in here and he kind of said, hey, let's mix some things up. And I was like, all right, let's try it. And then we did like a little bit, kind of like, toyed with it. And that's what we came up with.
Coach Q.
And the cool part is Brett let us do it.
That sounds about like Brett, though, great guy and stuff. He's always trying to explore. I love it.
Trying.
And it fits right along with the brand too. I like it. Coach Q as well.
Coach Q, man.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Bring him in on kind of our relationship. This guy came in with his family on Mother's Day last year.
Yes.
We had a ball. Like it was so fun. I'm gonna say they ordered more drinks than any other table in here besides like a holiday party. They were going off, man. We had a good time, and I just happened to have reggaeton playing. Right?
Yes, you did.
And he asked me, right? Or is that what happened? You asked me like, so what do you know about reggaeton? And I don't know how to speak it. I don't understand it, but music of the soul, man. I know how to move with it.
I move when it comes on. I know that.
And he was all, do you know who, this particular DJ was? DJ Ocho. Yep. I was like, I weirdly know that name. I weirdly know him. He goes, yeah, that's my cousin. He's going to be coming in here soon. And I was like, what? What did you just say? And it comes DJ Ocho. I'm hiding behind this wall right here, fangirling out, dude. I'm
trying to get it together.
Yeah. But no, we had a good time.
No,
and he's been coming in, I don't know, a lot. Yeah. We have Freddie's family in here all the time. Okay. They are wonderful supporters. They've been mostly just good friends to us. Yeah. Adrian and I talk about that all the time, about people getting in with us, making us feel like we're home, making us feel like we're family. This guy hooked us up with a country, the Secret Artist Show, which is a highlight of my life. He hooks us up. So there's this country station that puts on a Secret Artist Show down at the Marquee in Tempe. Yeah. And love country music. We kind of bonded over Aaron Lewis, which is another artist. And he was like, hey, man, we got 2 extra tickets. You and the wife, you should come. And blew our minds and everything like that. So we were just trying to guess who the secret artist was going to be. Ended up being Morgan Wallen.
Oh, man.
Blew my mind. It was, so he hadn't performed in a small venue like that for years, he said, right? And he was on his way from Vegas to Cali, maybe?
Yeah, it was Vegas to Cali. He was going.
Yeah. And he called it. All of it, he's like, man, this guy's coming through town. He's on the bus.
So we always try to guess who the artist is, all right? So, they give you clues somewhat, and then you kind of just go from there. So I looked at Morgan Wallen's schedule, and I was like, weird. He's coming from Vegas the day before. He doesn't have anything the day of the show, and the following day he's in California. So he has to go right by us. So I told him, I was like, yo, man, I think it might be this person. He goes, no, dude, don't lie to me. Don't be playing with my emotions. And I was like, yeah, man, I think. I go, I don't know. He goes, no, seriously, do you know? And I was like, no, I swear to God, I don't know. Next thing you know, they went, announced it, and Morgan Wallen standing there. And
so you didn't have to go through that heartbreak, huh?
There's a video on there. I'm glad Adri takes ownership of it, because it was definitely me screaming, but it sounds like Adri. I'm like, it was definitely you, babe.
Yeah. You gotta love when they do that for you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Brett was trying to take his shirt off.
Oh, man, I would have.
Here's my panties.
Yeah, I would have. I did. I threw up my bra.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, he was trying to take off his shirt.
There was a black lace one that ended up on stage. That was from me.
It's funny. He throws it over his shoulder. Yeah. It's just like, yeah, let it little, that's mine.
It was wild. All right. It was crazy.
Sounds lit, man.
But getting to it, like, good friendship, legitimate, authentic, organic. It's more than just him being a customer here. He's family when he walks in.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, it's good stuff, and it's been one of those that really has impacted like this place quite a bit. Everyone knows him. We have certain times where we just, I don't know if you want to say like expect someone to come in, but if they don't, hey bro, how you doing? What's going on? And want to bring him in because I mean the guy's done a lot for the community too. He's a head coach for his daughter's softball team, and they're pretty nasty. And we got to have the honor of hosting something to like a fundraiser, if you will. So when Freddie says he's going to do something, kind of nonchalantly just talks about it, but it ends up blowing up. This place was wall to wall packed.
I felt bad for them that day, man. I really did, because I don't think they were expecting it. They were not expecting it.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, man, we'll show up. It'll be good numbers. It blew up in here. Yeah, man.
Good problems and bad problems.
Yeah. So really good, man. I'm honored to know him.
We hit them all at once.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Right at 6:30. All
Everybody
3 doors
on time.
All 3 doors. Like I was one person away from dropping the disco ball and pumping up music and getting to it. Yeah.
Sorry, hitting them with the disco.
Right?
That's awesome, though. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's always nice when those things come to fruition like that too. Where he set something up beautiful like that, and then everybody shows up as well. And then, I mean, that was a lot of good people for you to meet as well.
A lot.
One thing that like seems to be every time we talk about it is like a lot of the people that come by, a lot of the customers that come by here end up wanting to be here regularly because of that background that you kind of established, where it's like, hey, you're not just a customer who comes into my shop. You're somebody who I care about, who I want to see be doing well in life, who I think about on a regular basis outside of just you coming to my establishment. I think that's like something that for me, I appreciate on the outside end, just looking at the elevated seltzer and seeing it from the outside, the family that you're building that extends past your family. I
appreciate that. Yeah,
it's pretty
we
awesome.
work hard on that. That's probably our number one thing that we focus on here. We have a lot of people that definitely, I mean, they come in here, they come in and out, they have the drinks, they do this, they do that. From where we are, just small town people, or even just very family oriented. We wanted to have that here because we don't have that, right? Everyone's back home. Everyone's doing the things that they've been doing back home, and kind of going about their lives the way, like, per usual. Everyone's growing back home, though. Adrian and I kind of had to pivot and do something different. And running this place, like a little bit unorthodox, brought us, beautiful people. And then, I mean, he knows about you too. We talked about, like, your party and everything like that, and it extending past that. And it couldn't be more blessed, man. I love where everything's at, especially having this here, getting on guests like this, hanging out with you. Blessed.
A lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Having a seltzer at,
what time in the morning is it?
It's in the morning, is it? It is not proud about it.
Nobody's judging this right now.
There's people lined up outside the windows, like shaking their heads. What's wrong with you?
Like, these guys got to be
Cheers.
alcoholics.
You not see the logo? It punches and bites.
Yeah, were we not talking about haters on the last one? Oh yeah, right. Like, hate the fact that I'm drinking this great beverage. Yeah, but it's berry.
Low key, but they're like, "Can I have one?" Yeah. It's not that I'm upset. I'm not.
You shouldn't be drinking it, but can I have it for you?
Right.
Well, that's awesome. What question of mine was, what is it like to be a coach of your daughter's baseball team or softball team? Excuse me.
Awesome, man. I grew up with my mom. She was single, so mom was always working, and she wasn't at my games as much. She tried to make as much as she could, but she couldn't, because she was making her money for us, trying to survive. I'm blessed that my stepdad's been in my life, since I was a little guy too. So both of them, out working, So I told myself, we may not be the richest family, but guess what? We're going to get by. We're going to survive, but I'm going to be part of my kid's life.
Yeah.
So I really took that personal, and, that's I just started,
Man, I can resonate with that. Like, huge. So my daughter plays softball right now too, but she just plays softball for school. But yeah, very much the same upbringing. My mom was working, constantly trying to pay the bills, 4 siblings. So it's a lot of mouths to feed, barely made it out of high school. Stepdad was around for a little while, but, it ended up departing as well, and just trying to make things happen. Never could be there for the sports, didn't really know how to be supportive in that manner, So for me, same thing. It's like very important for me to be there. I want to be a coach on the team, but honestly, for me to put that much time in it, because I understand, like, your time, the time you have to put in there, it's very big on top of the work that you're doing and everything else,
Yes.
But I would love to do that too. But one of my main things in particular is just making sure I'm at every game, making sure the equipment that I can help make sure that she has, or that all my kids have, is there, just being more impactful. Because I think you probably realize it, the impact that it has on your kids' mental is just a whole nother level,
Oh, it is, man. It is. I feel bad for some of the kids that, I coach, some of them that, like, their parents don't show up, the only time they show up is when, it's after the game, so I love being that positive, male role model, showing them the path. Hey, man, it's not just go to school and leave, it's like, there's more to this, and it's not about softball only either. It's about, guiding them to their next step, becoming an adult, teaching these young ladies how to be, productive citizens.
100% be women one day. So it's so funny. Some people don't like it, but I always say I'm not raising children. I'm raising adults. Yes. And I'm giving them the ability to be children, to have a imaginative mind and enjoy what it's like to be a child. But at the same time, I'm giving them the information that they're going to need to one day be successful adults in this society that aren't broken, right? Because there's so many not even just broken children, broken adults that haven't dealt with so much trauma from their childhood. And we all have trauma.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people don't want to admit to their trauma. We all have trauma. Being in single home families, without money, without the things that you need to succeed. Emotions are so heightened in those times of your life anyways, where it's like even if you have everything you need, you're still going through emotional problems constantly, trying to figure out where you're going to stay, where your place is in this world, and if you even belong. And almost all the kids think that, like, oh no, I don't belong here, I should have been in the 1800s, and it's just like just not the case. But having a strong male role model around that can show you, like, hey, I feel that way still today, and I work with it, and this is what I do the work, and you're going to have to deal with that in every aspect of your life, but this is how you do that. So I mean, for me, that I could respect that so much, and that story resonates with me in a huge way. So I'm riding with you.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm telling you, man, these girls are awesome. Mm-hmm. They're awesome. They make me a better person. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They make me a better person. So I coach my youngest daughter. Her, I call it my little girl ball, which is like the elementary. I coach their team. You know, I volunteer for that. And then I coach the varsity team at Borgate Catholic High School. Okay. So I'm the head coach there. I'm in charge of the whole program. So, you know, I just love it, man. I love it. It's awesome.
Super rewarding. You know? Sounds super rewarding. I can believe it, you know. I can just believe it, just being around that type of environment and knowing that you're making an impact. That's huge.
Yeah, you have to be passionate about it, you know. So, and that's what I try teaching the girls. You got to be passionate about what you do. You know.
That's awesome. And you said you have three children of your own too.
I do. I got a 18-year-old. She's about to graduate this year.
Where's she going?
She's going to South Mountain Community College to play softball.
Shout out.
Yeah, and then I have a 14-year-old. She'll be a freshman next year. And then my son, he's 10.
Okay. Heck yeah.
You intend on keeping up with the coaching?
Oh, yes.
Even when the youngest daughter's done? I mean, is this...
Yes. This is my passion, man. I mean, I don't do it for the money, because if I did it for the money, I wouldn't be doing it. You don't get paid much, you know? So, but it's just, you know, I love it, man. And it's just, if I could change one person's life, hey, man, that pays off right there.
I love it.
100%. Yeah. And you're changing multiple lives on a regular basis, because, again, just being a teenager is hard enough, and then having somebody that believes in you.
Especially in this society, it's bad right now, you know? Yeah. But, you know, they got to find people like us that are going to guide them in the right direction.
100%.
You know?
I agree. There's probably a couple young guys that I coach that I want to say, like, really in contact with. One of them lives here. Him and his wife, they've come through a few times, and we talk about it all the time, just kind of going in about it in a different way. There were coaches that were there. They were a little bit more iron, a little bit more, you know, tough and everything. I got in there in a different way, not relating with them on certain aspects, but just understanding what it's like to be a young man trying to develop into this world. And that stuck with them a little bit more. They've, been great guys to me. I wasn't even their position coach. There were two linemen that come through, and I was running backs and cornerbacks coach. The lineman guys coming up, you were one of the best coaches I've ever had. I don't think I've ever felt more honored. You know, and then the same thing about, well, you know, Erica, I kind of had to grow up a little bit faster. I took guardianship of my sisters when they were, you know, young. They helped me become a better man, because I had to stiffen up fast, you know, being the one that be the disciplinary and the structure for them. There was a lot of fighting, lot of fighting, you know, but it wasn't like, you know, physical fighting for them. It was like, two teenage girls. It was like psychological warfare every day, you know, small stuff. Just, you know, hey, can I go to my friend's house? No. Why? It's a weeknight, your chores, you got to do this, homework. Yeah. Who's his friend? Well, I want to go. Well, you can't go. Well, I want to. You can't. Like,
what are your friends' parents about? Like,
no, dude, that's the questions you got to ask.
Yeah. And so they help me. Yeah.
Those are the questions you got to ask if you like want to be that type of parent too, right? To make sure that your children are safe, because we don't want to take them away from being able to experience life. That's why I try to tell people too, we're raising adults. They're going to experience life. They're going to have relationships at one point. They're going to want to try different things in their life. They're going to want to go against what we want for them, but we just got to structure it in a way where they make the smartest decision for their own life that's not based off of trauma, you know? And that's the biggest thing, you know?
I always tell parents, you know, you can't beat around the bush, you know? You got to be straight up with your kid, you know? A lot of parents like, you know, oh man, you can't say that to them, you know, you can't tell them that, they're too young. No, but they got to know, like, you know,
Agreed.
Don't open the door because someone will take you.
100%.
You know, they'll take you.
Yeah. And it's not a joke. It's not maybe depending on neighborhood. No, you could be in the best place ever.
Yeah.
And the worst thing could still happen to you.
Exactly.
It's like being aware of your surroundings, being aware of the things that are really around you, you know? So I love that. You gotta plug them. I tell my kids all the time, I'm going to be real with you on every subject.
You have to,
I love
man.
it.
You have to.
Yeah.
At any point, it doesn't matter what age. If they're coming to you and they're asking you about something, and it's trust building, right?
Yes.
It's also a trust building thing. Now forever, every time they come to me, they're going to know that Dad's not going to give me a biased opinion on things. Whether he likes it or not, he's going to give me the absolute uphold truth about whatever it is, and he's going to give me the ability to make the decision myself. I think kids love that, you know? Because it's still them having control over their decision, but with better facts, right? Yeah. Not like, oh my God, if you do this, bad things are going to happen to you. Well, bad things can happen to you. Mm-hmm. These are the bad things that can happen to you. These are the good things that can happen to you. And this is the way that you can make sure that only good things happen to you. And even if you do that, bad things still might happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was one big lesson my dad taught me was planting seeds, and it's from each way, right? Yes. We talk about certain things of just pounding it into just my circumstance, my sister's head. They're just not getting it. And he's like, well, you got to think about it. You're putting them in an adult situation when they're not fully adults. Teach them how to be, you know, plant those seeds. They will grow. And I was like, man, how long is this seed going to take? And some of them have taken really fast. Some of them have taken a lot longer. Yeah. And prime example, my sister Erica, she moved out here. And part of it was she was like, I didn't like the crowd I was in. I had to take a step back and realize where my life was headed, and I did not like it. Mm-hmm. And she wanted to move out here. She chose to come back because she knows that I'm going to be on her ass all the time. Mm-hmm. But it's structured discipline, but it's also like gaining in life experiences, actually sacrificing to make sure to ensure your future. Hard work, right? She got a little bit of lax back home. So my dad kind of taught me on that aspect too. Like, I might not get thanked until, you know, half a decade away.
Yeah, maybe never.
Maybe never. Yeah. And he was like, you got to put up with that. But that's the kind of thing. Like, are you willing to do that? Mm-hmm. Are you willing to put yourself in that situation to not be thanked? Like, it doesn't mean that much to you. Do you need that much self-gratification? Mm-hmm. You shouldn't.
Yeah, because the real reward is just letting them be successful, right? Even if nothing comes from that. If you watch somebody who you had a small impact on their life and you never get credit for it ever in life, but that person goes off and has a great life, that is fulfilling, way more fulfilling than getting something tangible, right?
Right. Like, and that's kind of like your own personal thing, because if you're in it for the wrong reasons, then what are you even doing it for? Right. So
I feel like a lot of that stuff will give you like confidence too. Cause like for me, like I go to my wife's a school teacher. I've said it multiple times, and I'll go up to her student, her class, and I'll like do small things with her class. And I don't think anything of it. Like, I don't think I'm doing something like huge and impactful and big, you know, but then I get in here and I'm around these kids and I see them light up, you know, and I see the excitement of them just because I brought some hats or some shirts in, or, you know, signed something for them. And I just see their excitement, like, especially the ones that don't have necessarily male role models around, especially young boys that don't have good man role models around that can show them that, like, hey, being secure in your emotions is fine. Knowing where you're going, not knowing where you're going is fine. Like, giving them something that's a strong, structured background that's not tainted or man, I love it. And I don't care if I get nothing from those type of moments ever in life. And even if I spend money doing those type of things, just the fact that it could change a kid's life from wanting to hang out with the bad crowd and going to try to change his life and be better for the next generation, you know, and break a lot of these generational curses, because people act like they're not there, but generational curses are a big part of human society, period.
It is.
Doesn't matter what culture you're in, where you come from. It's like there are these generational curses that are just passed down inherently, and a lot of people don't even realize it until it's too late to not show the next generation that, you know. So if I can have a small impact on people's lives with that, that's plenty. I agree. Plenty of feeling.
I agree completely.
The best feeling too. Best feeling.
Plenty of payment, right?
Well, I mean, we have it come across. I mean, Freddie brought home to us, because we have a lot of people that we know back home that are that type of people, that kind of family. Not to say we haven't felt that, or there's not any other out there like that. It's just Freddie exposed that to us first, you know. And he was like, when you're around like your family, and he treats us as so, having him, like, you know, just talk about this place and the impact that it's had. But it's It's more than that. And then you start diving into Freddie's life a little bit more, start looking at what he's doing. He's actually standing by exactly what he's talking about. And coming across any other person that's been like, oh man, this, and this. Freddie is to his word, to a T, everything he's done. Hardworking man, humble, going out there making a difference, and it's showing. I mean, his kids come in here, they're the most respectable kids they're so nice. They look you dead in the eye, and I'm like, dang man, they're good. Come here. I'm just kidding. But
based off their own type of thing, right? Like he's planted the seed, but they have let that seed grow and be nurtured, and now they're nurturing that plant themselves. 100%. And that's the most beautiful thing to see from a parent,
I got confidence in the next gen from that.
100%. That's awesome.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I really do.
Yeah. I mean, so bring it back on your daughter and everything. I want to talk about that for a second. Right. Kind of going through like her career and everything like that. How was that development, especially when it's just your daughter against all the rest of the kids? Like how do you separate that?
As in my
coaching style, and father style.
Oh, got you. So I learned that the hard way. Her and I would bump heads all the time. I would always be in coach mode with her. So her and I, bumped heads too many times. I've talked to other coaches that were dads, and I just, asked them, hey, man, how do you go about this? And it's like, you know what, man, you don't want to lose that relationship with your daughter because you're being a stickler on, what she did on the field. So now, I just turn it off, right? When the game's over, if she wants to ask me questions, I'll let her ask me questions. But after the game, I'm dad. I'm dad, I've been coaching her since she was in 5th grade. So, her and I, my oldest, we've been together since 5th grade. And then I let her go off with the club team. She's doing really well. Well, he retired. So we put her on another club team. And then they asked me to come on the coaching staff. I started coaching with her. And then, the rest is her, man. I mean, she's a hard worker.
Yeah.
She's a hard worker. I mean, all of them are. My oldest one plays softball. My middle one, Olivia, she plays basketball. She plays softball also, but basketball is her main thing. And then my son, he's trying to find his way right now, So right now he's a basketball player.
I think that's how it is with the boy.
Oh, yeah.
I think my daughter's doing the same thing. She played volleyball, basketball. Now she's doing softball. She's going to do track. My son did the same thing, he's 1 year younger than her. And, right now he's really into basketball, but he loves football too. He's running track too now. It's like, and my biggest thing about those is I didn't even ask them to do that. They just went and did it themselves,
That's cool.
Just went and did it themselves. So it's cool to hear that, that your kids are kind of doing their own thing. Again, they're chasing what they want. And the thing is, a lot of kids aren't doing that right now. They're scared. They're it's intimidating,
they're
right?
Scared to fail. They're scared to fail, And I always tell new parents, make your kids do the sports. Force them to do every single sports once. So they get their own opinion. Once they get their opinion, if they don't like it, all right, man, that's not for you then. But a lot of times, these kids don't want to do it because they don't want to jump off the ledge, They don't want to, they don't know if they're going to be good at it. They don't want to be made fun of, but you have to push them, and that's where us parents, you have to come in and just be like, hey, man, you're doing it. And then after that, they're like, oh, man, this is the best sport ever. Yeah. Told you.
Yeah. I like that. I enjoy that a lot because I talk about consequences. That was probably my side of it because as a grown-up, I still don't want to deal with consequences. Yeah. If I mess up, I don't want to answer to myself or answer to
anyone.
What? Yeah. I mean, majority of the time it's Adriana, especially if I'm late and she's waiting. And I know as soon as I walk through that door, I get that look. I'm like, damn, I'm 30 years old. I'm 31 years old. I don't want to deal with consequences. And that's the approach I took with the girls is never be upset at you for taking that risk, doing the things you should have done or maybe attempted to do. The things I will not stand by is you being lazy and then you getting in trouble, even more trouble for being lazier, for not doing the small things that you're supposed to do already.
Or careless, right? Or being 100%. Careless.
If you go out there, you put a whole ass into something, you give it your best shot, you fail, or you mess up, or you made a wrong decision, we can at least constructively talk about that, break it down, get to a different point to be like, hey, let's do this next time. Instead of you not doing anything. not being productive, but also the small things, even just like doing chores at home or getting your homework done and sitting in this pool of just sorrow. That's the consequence, is not, I want to say not living up to a standard, but having expectations. And I think that's another thing that I fully agree with. I don't know about you, but having expectations is not entirely wrong. You know, you could expect that out of a lot of things, and especially for what I would say, like, you know, I can maybe if I pound on my chest a little, but I worked extremely hard for my family, try to get them into a good spot, did everything I could to make sure that my girls were well taken care of. Yeah. There's a small expectation to be like, you know, at least respect it a little bit. Be like, you know what, man, the brother hooked me up. The brother did awesome for me. Let me help this guy out a little bit. Like, you know what I'm saying? And try to at least do the best I can. 100%. Yeah. Take care of my, what, like the red carpet he laid out. Let's take care of that at least. You know, 100%. I'm going to get the broom, dust it off, vacuum it up a little bit, you know? So, I mean, I like that to say, like, you know, push your kids a little bit, maybe let them form their own opinion. I think that's brilliant.
Well, they never will form an opinion if they don't get a push, right? They're going to stay in the same comfort zone where they don't get challenged. Yeah. So it's like that push really matters. And I did have my kids, like I didn't get my daughter until she was 10. She's 13 now, about to be 14 in June, but I didn't get her full custody until she was 10. And it bothered me for so long because I watched her eat all the wrong things. I watched her, you know, with her mom, you know, her mom loved her and cared about her, but her mom didn't necessarily care to really make her, because I mean, I'm an athletic person, you know, like I knew my daughter had that side of her. Yes. I knew that she had the artistic, athleticism, all those things, but she was being pushed to be more of a, you know, stay at home, don't do any type of extracurricular activities. You're not capable of doing these things. You can't run, you can't, and then eat whatever she wanted to eat, you know? Yeah. And then getting her after that 10 years and seeing the change now, literally I talked to him. I planted the seed, right? I'm always talking to him about different things that they can do to challenge themselves. But not one time does it, hey, you guys should really sign up for this, or you should really sign up for that. She's playing the violin. She's in choir. She's on the softball, baseball, basketball. You know, it's like they're just jumping into these things. And it's like, I didn't even have to do it. And that's more loving for me, because that's the expectation I have. I want to plant a seed, and I want to watch you water that seed. I want to watch you wake up in the morning and go to school early to do the extra gym classes, you know? And that's like so much more fulfilling for me, you know? I was like, oh, I didn't tell you to get up and you just went and did that yourself? Let's go. Oh, you want to get better, don't you, huh? You tired of dad winning every time, huh? You know? So yeah, it's great. It's great. Cool. Great to hear, you know, that other like-minded men are doing the same type of things, because, you know, it's hard, especially being a man that doesn't necessarily have you know, it's great to have that background where you have been pushed by a great man. And I have a couple of the men in my life that I do look up to, but it's different than having a man in your household on a regular basis that's really invested in you and giving you that type of, I say confidence, right? I think my kids have way more confidence in 100%. Themselves than I ever did. And I think a lot of it based down to not just being a father, but being an involved father who cares. Like, I love, hug, kiss, squeeze, read books to my kids.
Man, you have to show them that love.
Like I've had men tell me, like, I show my son too much softness. I'm like, oh my God, you're killing me with this.
There's no such thing as that, man. There's no such thing that, you know, because I mean, I'm Mexican, dude. So, you know, like the Mexican side of the families, you know, like that I know that are from Mexico and stuff, they're like all macho, like, you know, we don't hug, we don't kiss, we don't, you know, none of that, you know. And I'm like, I'm opposite, man. You know, I hug my son lays there and watches TV with me, you know, like I'm holding him. Like, nah, man, like I want my kids to know that they're loved. They're loved. Like, you know, there's not going to be that, well, you know, I don't know if my dad likes me because, you know, he never showed me any love, you know, like there's nothing like that. Like,
I don't have a moment with my parent that I held them, like just held them, right? Like, no, I feel you. Like, that's how I feel. Like, my son will not let go of me when he hugs me. And I'm like, I'm doing something right here. Like,
that's the best feeling though, man. You know, as a dad, you know, because like when your kids just come up and just hug you just for no reason, like, it's like, all right, man, like this is what it's all about.
For sure.
This is what it's all about.
True love that's been built. And that's one thing. So I fire back on guys like that too. Like, man, whether it's a female, whether it's a male child, whatever you're going through, love is the way, right? You got to show love, and sometimes love is tough, right? Yeah. A lot of times love is tough, you know? But again, if it's coming from the right place, you're going to get a better reaction a lot of different times, especially if you have a real genuine relationship, you know? Yeah. And that goes for not even with your kids, with other kids that you're just having an impact. I mean, I'm sure you see it in a big way, like just dealing with so many different kids and so many different divisions of playing in so many different seasons of playing softball. It's like, man, those small little impacts that you're having are really having a big impact on these kids' life, and they feel loved, cherished, you know? Like that makes them want to work harder for themselves, you know, makes them want to be better people, makes them want to do that for other people. I think that's what happened for me. I had multiple people in my life that showed me like, hey, I don't really want to be these other guys. You know, I don't want to be like that. Like I want to be tough and I want to be strong and I want to be mentally strong. And I want to know that if an intruder tries to pop up on me, I can handle business. And I want to have that rough savage side of me too. I want to be a savage, but I also want to be a loving, caring, nurturing, you know. I want them to know that is masculine. I don't know how like that got replaced where that's not masculine now,
no,
right?
I'm with you.
like since when is it not masculine to be able to genuinely show love to your family? Yeah. You know, when did that change?
Or not even just to your family, you know, I call them my kids, you know, those are my girls, you know. Every girl that I coach, those are my girls. I consider them my kid, you know. So like I'm gonna show them love, you know, especially when they're in the worst spot, you know. They think they're in the worst spot of their lives, you know. Man, you got high school drama. Come on, calm down. That's nothing.
And let them know that it's okay for them to feel that way about it too, right? Like, hey, you guys are supposed to feel this way. Like, I know your friends are talking craziness about their feelings, and you're putting all this black on, and you guys are getting crazy. I'm cool with it. You go through it, but it's supposed to happen. You know, I heard this one podcast, and I loved it. And the guy was like, "These kids want to kill themselves, right?" And it's like, it sucked to hear it that way because there's so much of that happening in the world right now, right?
Too much.
And it's like, man, I feel for it. But what he said that is they want to kill the child version of themselves so that they can grow into being the adult version of themselves, right? Where they do everything right and they figure out who they are. And it's like, we all went through that. I remember being a teenager and hating myself, hating the fact that I wasn't a little bit darker, hating the fact that my family was darker, hating the fact that like I had green eyes and other people didn't, my hair, like not wanting to be around, you know what I'm saying? Not wanting to be around people, hating on myself a lot of times. And I thought it was weird. I always thought, and I was, because some people weren't the same way, but I thought it was weird that I felt that way. And it's like, no, almost 90% of children growing up feel that way at some point in their life, especially if they have trauma in their life, parents that aren't around for whatever reason, things that are happening to them for whatever reason. They're going through those things, and just letting them know that it's absolutely normal for you to think and feel that way. But it's also normal for you to work through those emotions and talk to your family that cares about you and work through these things and understand that who you are now is not who you're going to be next year. Who you are next year is not going to be. I remember people saying all the time, like, oh, you're a poser. And I used to get so mad about that. But what is a poser? You know, a poser is somebody who's doing everything that they want to do because they enjoy doing it, right? But for me, that's what I consider a poser is now, right? But people would hate on that. There's nothing wrong with being a poser. Like, it's not a poser. Like, I'm not posing that I like to skateboard. I love skateboarding.
Yeah, you like skateboarding, yeah.
I'm also an MMA fighter. I also like tattoos. I also like drawing. I also like to create music. I also like to, it's like, does that mean I'm a poser tattoo artist because I enjoy wanting to be a tattoo artist one day? You know, like, I'm not a poser, and kids shouldn't have to feel that way either. Just because you play baseball and basketball and soccer doesn't mean you're a poser on one of them.
Yep.
You can do everything you want to do in this life, kid, and don't let anybody ever tell you that you can't, you know, go for it all. And so that's my thing too, like just talking to my kids, because I mean, my daughter's mom has her issues, you know, has problems going on. My daughter's had to deal with a lot of those issues, and I had to be there with her through them, and just watching her emotionally go through those things. Like, I know so many kids are going through that without somebody there to be there and be like, hey.
You're absolutely right, dude. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. Yep. When I used to work at the YMCA at Christown, you know, we used to get kids in there, man, and it's just like, you see the stuff that they go through, and it's just like, holy crap, man. Like, as an adult, I wouldn't even want to go through that, you know? Like, seriously. It's sad, dude. It's sad.
And then they're still expected to be normal, though. They're expected to just be able to think normally. How do you think normally when you have all this trauma happening to you at an age where you can't even control your emotions anyway?
Yeah. You know, a lot of people think, like, you know, oh, man, these are bad kids. These are bad kids, you know? Yeah, they act up because they don't get attention at home, you know? And the only attention they get is when it's bad. It's negative attention, you know? So
always disciplinary, always consequences.
Yeah, but they have but it's attention, you know? So now when you turn it around, you know, and you're like, all right, man, like, you're only acting that way. You're like, I always tell people, you have to hold everyone accountable. You have to hold them accountable for what they do, whether it's good or bad, and hold yourself accountable. I'm the same way. Like if I, yelled at my kid and, I was in the wrong, I'm going to go and say sorry to my kids. A lot of people say, oh, why do you have to say sorry to your kids or your kids? Nah, man, like, no,
you that is
you lead
a
by
big
example.
Step.
You lead by example.
Step.
Huge.
And like, that's what I would do at the kids at the Y, man. Like, and they always come up to me and they're like, man, you're real with me. Like, you're not sitting here yelling at me because, like you explain, like the reason you're doing this is because of this and that, if you don't do this is what's going to happen. If you do, like, I'm straight up with these kids, like I said, like
showing them that you're flawed. Yeah. You have flaws too, right? Like you have flaws. We all make mistakes on a regular basis. And it's so funny that there is that culture out there. It's like, no, as an adult, I'm not going to let them know that I make mistakes. You're automatically showing them something that they shouldn't know. Like you're automatically making them feel like they can't fail. Like they don't want to fail because they don't see you fail.
Yep.
But when you come to them and you know that, like, even if sometimes if I yell or I get mad at my kids and I react how I didn't want to react, like, or out of anger and I didn't come at how I wanted to, I'll go back to them and be like, you know what? I want you to understand, like, even though you did this, I was out of line for coming to you the way I came to you, right? Yep. I love you regardless. I'm going to be here regardless, but these are the things we need to work out and we need to work on. And I want you to know that it's never okay for me to come at you this way. Yep. And that, for anybody, I think even as an adult, when I come to my wife that way, she respects it and appreciates it more because it's, again, like, it's like owning up to the fact that, hey, I may be out of line and I respect myself enough to realize that, and I respect you enough to come to you and let you know that I realize it, and just taking those moments to do that. So I think that's huge. And that's probably why the girls like really resonate with you and love being around you. Again, the fact that there's not that many males out there that are exuding that.
There's not, man.
No. And I want to push that. I think there should be males that feel comfortable with being that way. I don't think they feel comfortable with that.
There's a big thing of, at least where I remember growing up and at least seeing my dad and my grandfather, those are the two biggest ones. And the ones that I can relate to you guys is that whole thing about, my dad's Superman or something like that. What does that mean? When my dad, the first time where he was like, I'm actually going to shut up. I need to listen to you because you're bringing value in. I was 20-something years old and you're going to listen to me? But I remember growing up and watching my grandfather when he was emotional or vulnerable, something he was passionate about. It wasn't that he always had to be Iron Man or, a brick wall or anything. When I saw a grown man harnessing and utilizing his emotions is when that shit got real to me. My dad's the same way. He openly talks about so many different things, the struggles that he had. Like, he's like, you know what, man, I was kind of depressed, especially with our situation. He came in when I was 18 years old, but me and him are best friends now. He talks about the realest parts of that. His struggles with his marriage brought it all out to me. And I'm like, damn, dude, like, why do you think that? Like, are you serious? Especially towards, my stepmom. I was, that's kind of messed up. And now that I'm in the situation I'm in with this place, a lot of it's relatable. My grandfather going through a lot of that stuff. But now that I'm looking back on it, it was more than just a storytelling. It was more than just a situation. It was a full developmental seed that I now am clinging to dear life for. But it was one of those things of who am I going to talk to this about? My dad's mentioned it multiple times. Seek counsel. Always seek counsel. If you're going to make a big decision, or if you're going to think you're going to have this type of impact on someone's life, you better have your oxygen mask first to help yourself and then go down this road. But how are you going to do that? Developmental traits like this.
Seek somebody who might have been through it, somebody 100%. Who can give you different point of views of things that you're going to go through I agree. Because you're going to go through these emotions, like you said. And most men are taught to not have emotion. Most men are taught that women don't want to see you have emotion.
Oh, they do.
And they do.
Oh, they do.
They do.
And it's a crazy thing to me that that this is like something that's pushed to people, and it's not. If somebody doesn't want to see you have emotion, that person is not for you. Period.
100%.
That's just life, right? That person's not for you because we all go through good things, bad things, in between things. Life is crazy, good and bad.
Yeah.
And it's all about how we take it and perceive it and put it into perspective for ourselves, right?
I agree.
So getting somebody who is going through another situation, like again, like you're about to be married right now, for your dad to talk to you about marriage and talk to you and let you know, like, hey, like things aren't always going to be all you might have 3 years where you absolutely can't stand the person that you're with, but being a good man and being a loving, caring, compassionate man means going through that in the best manner possible. Always. Even when you don't feel good, even when you don't want to wake up and be the man to this woman or to the woman to this man, still doing it because that's who you are,
right?
You know, and that's what you embody and that's what you believe in, and you put your faith in that. And like perspective from another source like your father who's already felt those things, it's like, and let you know right away, you know, because I did, before I got married, I went to one wedding, and that was 2 weeks before my wedding or 3 weeks before my wedding. Never been to a wedding before. Didn't really know too many married people. You know, like my grandparents are married, but not everybody's married in our family. It's not that big of a thing. Marriage is not that important, you know? And just doing it myself and getting married. We just hit our 8-year anniversary on 3rd. So, you know, put that out there. 8 years.
Maniac. You're an angel.
18 years of her dealing with me, though. You know,
that's what I always say, dude. She's dealing with me. I don't deal with her. She's dealing with me.
18 years of her putting up with me. Because again, like I always say, my wife is always knew a lot. Like she's always, I think she did come from a more structured. Like again, I always tell her there's certain things about her upbringing that I don't agree with. Right? Like that's just how it's going to be. That I think could have been better. But there's a lot of things about her upbringing that I'm like, man, I took those on. And I'm man, I love that you were brought up like that. I love that your family network was set up like that. And I really want to take that and set that up for my family because I could see how successful it was for you guys, you know? And there's other things where I'm like, no, we can't show them that because you're not going to clean their room every week. Like, they're going to clean their room every week. So, you know, let's get them cleaning it, you know?
I mean, standing from this side of the table, having y'all be, in my opinion, very experienced in this world because you did have a child young.
I did.
You have had to grow into, you've had to grow into old, right? This stuff. Yeah. As you're trying to grow as a young man, father, young husband, that's why over that hump, man. I don't know how you guys do it. And to be truthful, majority of the men that I know have had the same situation, but also have the most insight, the most passion, and honestly, just the aura about them is developmental to the part where everyone that comes around you is just obsessed or suction cupped or just want to reach out. I mean, how many times just sitting down talking to you guys, I'm captivated. You know, this is one of these episodes where truthfully, I wish we had 5 hours to go on to because it. Not only are you just giving it to them, you're giving it to me too. You know, 100%. And this is very, very critical and something for me I'm taking on. I'm having my own mental notes going down, and this is only just the beginning. You know, we just got into this just now, and it seemed like it went by just like this, but it's something that
super important, super important.
Yeah.
Something important to me. I think that's something that that's super important to all of us. And I'd love to say, I'm sure you agree, I'd love to say that this is the easy. And it's not easy to do these things. It's not easy to be this man. It's gotten a lot easier over the years because it's just like
you don't care what other people think.
Exactly.
You know?
And it became me, right? But it was something that I had to work on. And every man, every woman out there is going to have to do the same.
Yeah.
They're going to have to work on these things. They're going to have to go through every emotion, right? That's what they're going to have to do. And they're going to have to put themselves in that situation and know that, hey, it's going to be for the betterment at the end of these things, right? And again, all those emotions are going to come. So it won't be easy up front, but over time it does become a lot easier. You become more, you get more gratification from it too. You know, I say being a father, being a man, a good man to all the younger individuals that come in and out of my life is probably one of the biggest honors of my life. And 100%. If I could do anything to continue on with that, like I have a lot of different plans on starting different things that would help the community. That's kind of where my mindset is because the children are the future. That's what it is. You 100%. Know, children are the future. The next generation is the future. And what's the future that we want to see? Right.
100%. And I want a lot of effort put in. And this is kind of what I'm going to say, like the Freddie factor. You know, whenever he comes in, there's a different standard. You know, there is. It's because you carry yourself that way, and I believe that. And when people talk about us, maybe as a trio, whenever like this trio comes on, maybe this is kind of what you expect. Maybe this is what it's going to go for. And I mean, let's do it. I'm in. You know, I mean, maybe this is the way that the episode is going to go, and it should be.
100%. Yeah. I'd love to hear other men and women chime in on these things too. You know, like this. That's one thing I'd like to hear. Everyone has an opinion on things too, and we all help each other. There's no book to this thing called life. There's no book to fatherhood, friendship, you know, and I think that every child and every person is different too. So some of the things that I do with my children might not work for the same things that you do with your children. On the opposite side of that, maybe one of those things that you do will really impact me and help not even just with my kids, but one of the other kids that I'm helping with, either teaching in the gym or doing things like that. You know, it's just like men coming together to show each other and to show the world that, hey, masculinity is not toxic. Masculinity is a beautiful thing, and a lot of the things that people would consider not non-masculine are as masculine as they come. Just to top off of that, my son made some money with my granddad like 2 weekends ago, and he was like, came home, he was like, hey mom, I got paid. First thing I want to do is take you out. And my wife was like, oh my God, that's so cute. And I told her, I had to stop her. I was like, yo, I'm gonna need you to not take that away from him as something that's super masculine.
Yeah. Right.
That was a beautiful, manly thing for this 12-year-old boy to make some money, and the first thing he wants to do is take his mom out to dinner.
Hey, man.
Don't make him feel cute. Make him feel like he's becoming a man.
Yeah,
because he is. That's masculine.
Yes.
That's just masculine as come. Yeah. It pumps me up. I feel like my muscles just got bigger. I'm getting goosebumps right now.
It's true, because like these kids nowadays, they just want to spend it on V-Bucks or this or that, you know. But 100%. For him to say that, I mean, it's true, man.
Turn me up.
Oh man,
I was like, if we can
push a proud moment.
Yeah,
100%. So
give us a little send out, close out. I mean, at least for, I know the softball season's coming to a close. I mean, just bring us in on how this season went. Maybe even a situation that went down with you. At least shine a light on one of your players.
Gotcha. So
give us something.
Right now we are 10-3. Overall with tournaments and everything, we're 17-7.
Okay.
We're doing really well. I put a lot of pressure on these girls. I hold them accountable, and I expect more for them, but they're doing awesome. They're good kids, man. They're really good kids. I'm going to shout out all three of my seniors. You know, they're all going to South Mountain. They're going to the next level to play. They're awesome. They're awesome girls. I mean,
that's awesome.
They're beautiful kids.
What's the goal for your team this year? What do
Our
you
team to win state, man? Win state, yeah.
When state tournament come down, how far we got?
I think it's in May 17th. I want to say
May 17th.
Yeah, May 17th.
Where can we go watch them? Is there a big tournament going down?
It'll probably this year. It's going to be, where was it at last year? Last year was at ASU, so it'll probably be in Tucson this year at U of A.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where the state championship.
And you guys are 3A, right?
We're a 3A school. We're a small school. A lot of people think just because we're a Catholic school and we're private, we're a rich school. No, we're not. We're a lot of low-income families there. So, you know, when it comes to our program stuff, like our equipment, our, you know, wardrobe, uniforms, all that. I mean, the school covers our uniforms, but like if you want extra or whatever, we have to fundraise for that.
Okay.
And, you know, and I'm all about feeling good, you know, looking good, you play good. Yeah, that's what I'm all about, you know. So I bust my butt and try to get these girls the best things that, you know, we can get them. So Brett's helped us out with that. You know, like you said earlier, you know, he let us do our fundraiser here, and, you know, man, that was awesome.
Well, I definitely love to shout out your fundraiser next time you do it for sure too, because that's a beautiful thing. And I know the kids don't take it for granted. You know, just have that gear and have you putting it in for them too. Like that's just a whole nother level to it. That makes them want to live up to those expectations a little bit more, right? Like, I got that support. I got these people behind me. I'm showing up today. So that's awesome, man.
Showed out. I mean, this was a wonderful episode. I'm probably going to go back and watch this one myself again and make sure my mental notes are where they need to be, you know, kind of letting you guys get after it on that aspect, and hearing your perspectives on everything is monumental. I want Freddie close us out with something, man. I mean,
so I live by this with my wife all the time and my kids. Don't ever go to sleep angry at each other. I'm serious, man.
I love it.
That's like, you know, you have an argument, settle it right there and move on.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
And that's in life, anything, you know, your friends, anything, you know, don't go, 'cause you never know, man. You're not promised the next day.
Yep.
I love it. I love it.
Love it. Hey man, I appreciate you guys. Seriously.
No man, dude. Captivating episode. I'm mind blown. I wish we can keep going. Freddie, tell the people how they find. All right, go ahead.
No. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead and tell people because I know I'm supposed to get backhanded or something.
Oh yeah.
No one's getting backhanded after this session. No, man.
It's like,
is there a backhand hug?
Yeah, get a backhand hug. Sure. Maybe we'll do a handshake.
There you go.
Where can people find you on social?
I have a page for my coaching. It's Coach Q and the girls. So I post all my girls. I try to get them exposure and everything. So, go follow it, share their pictures, their videos and everything. And hopefully a college will see them and pick them up.
Heck yeah. Awesome, man. And you can find me at Maniac_McGee on Instagram or just type in Maniac McGee on all the other platforms, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, and you'll be able to find me on there.
And I'm at Brett Anthony M. This was a really good episode. Just want to say, listen, you see Freddie Q on this one, tune in. It was a great episode. Freddie's going to have like a part 3, 7, 9, and 12. You're going to see Freddie a lot. This was a good episode.
Heck yeah.
So thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you. Step 1, the Coach Q. Very important. Elevated seltzer only. Anyone else is not the way to go. So you get the pie going. You approve?
Fruit.
Let's do it. Walk it back here. Another elevated seltzer exclusive only slushies that we make. Give a nice easy pour. You don't really need to ram it in there. See how that's gonna flow right on top, nice and easy? Bang. Ladies and gentlemen, the Coach Q.
Coach Q.